Alright, so I'm taking out a Hammerhead and a Vanguard Sentinel today. I'm going to go ahead and let this stand for all the Vanguards because I think they'll all be fairly similar. Realistically, I probably would use the same loadout, and I don't want to buy any of the other Vanguards in game. Uh, but anyway, I tried to talk through this whole video, but it's too long and it got too rambly, and I just didn't like it. So I'm just going to kind of run through my experience, the different things I liked and didn't like about the Sentinel, interesting things that happened, kind of compare it to the other ships, maybe a few other comments, and then I'll let the rest of the video play out of killing the Hammerhead without commentary, essentially. So anyway, the Sentinel, I had pretty high hopes for going into this, and honestly, I was way off. The Sentinel's terrible. Vanguard's horrible maneuverability. But I thought with that big 5 gun, like, I think they said 4 and lower are for fighters and 5 and up are for, like, capital ships and stuff. But that size 5 gun, man, did not do enough to compensate for how horrible the maneuverability is. I struggled to keep it on target. I was using a ton of boost. Now, if I did this a couple more times, I think I figured out some tricks and stuff and how to fly the Sentinel a little bit better. So I probably could have stayed on target a little bit better. The EMP on the Sentinel, it just tickles those large shields, man. It hardly did anything. So that really wasn't helpful at all. And honestly, I thought after using the Buck, because the Buck's maneuverability, like its speed's great, but its maneuverability is not as good as the Gladius or Arrow. I thought I was going to struggle with that, which I did struggle maybe a little bit more, but it really wasn't bad, and that extra damage more than made up for not hitting the target as much, because I think the Buck was my fastest Hammerhead kill, if you don't count the Eclipse, which, let's be honest, the Eclipse is kind of cheating because you just torpedo it. So, with that being said, I used an all-repeater setup. I just don't like cannons, and I don't... Like, when I use cannons versus repeaters, I know cannons have a longer fire time without recharging, but it also takes them way longer to recharge, so I feel like the damage difference really isn't that much. And it's a lot easier to hit targets with repeaters, man. And also another thing is, I had a Hurricane and a Valkyrie in here that I killed before I fought this. And man, that took way longer. One of the reasons it was harder to stay on target on the Hurricane mainly. The Valkyrie wasn't too bad. But also, when you're fighting them, the Hammerhead's getting shots off on you, and it took down my shields a couple times, so I had to run away, get my shields back, and come back in. So that was a pain. So that took way longer than the other ships. Like with an Arrow... Oh, I forgot I hit an asteroid in this, but... Yeah, I bumped an asteroid. Luckily, one of the major advantages of the Sentinel is, between its shields and hull, it has significantly more... Like, it's significantly tankier than any of the other ships I used, like... But back to what I was talking about, like with the Arrow, Gladius, or even the Buck, when you're fighting those other ships, even though the Hammerhead's around there, you're not taking many shots from the Hammerhead, so you're able to just stay in the fight and recharge your shields in the fight. But this thing, man, I was always taking shots from the Hammerhead to the point where the more tankiness of the shields and stuff just wasn't enough, and I had to dip out, recharge my shields, and of course by the time I recharged my shields, the Valkyrie or the Hurricane, whatever I was fighting, had their shields recharged by then. So I had to come back in, take their shields down again, hit their HP pool, hopefully not have to jump out. I think it happened about 3 times, and there was one time that the Hammerhead just absolutely annihilated me, so I basically jumped in, got annihilated by the Hammerhead, had to go back out, get my shields back, and then come back in again. So it was just kind of a frustrating experience overall. I wasn't able to get the DPS I wanted on there. And so basically, the Sentinel, you soak up a lot of shots in it, but you got a lot of shields and a lot of whole HP, so it's not as big of a deal. Like, it's like the Arrow, like, you take hardly any hits, but when you get hit, it really hurts, and, like, you can just blow up. Like, 1 second you'll be good, and the next second you'll be blown up. But this ship, the main issue is I just struggled to stay on target, and even when I was hitting the hammerhead, I struggled to hit the spot that I wanted to hit so bad, in fact, that I ran out of gas in this fight. I even had I think another Sentinel in here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a Sentinel helping me out for part of the fight. I ran out of gas, and the other Sentinel got blown up because the hammerhead focused all its attention on him. So I ended up having to backspace myself and respawn at the station, recall the Sentinel, and then come back out here and fight it again. I don't know, this was just kind of a frustrating experience overall compared to any of the other ships, and I would say the Sentinel's the worst ship I've tried so far to take out a hammerhead in. Even though on paper it looks pretty good, the actual fighting of a hammerhead is terrible. Like, if the hammerhead starts doing anything weird at all, it's really hard to get back in a rhythm. If there's any desync or rubber banding of any kind, it throws you off. You can take some hits. The recharging of the guns felt slower on this compared to other ships. I don't know if that was 100% accurate or not. But also, another thing that it could have been is I just had to have power and shield. Like, the other ships, most of the time I was fighting, I had full power and guns, so my recharge rate was really good. But this ship, I had to have power and shield significantly more because I was soaking up shots. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And anyway, I was thinking about doing, after I get done fighting the hammerhead and pretty much every ship I can, I think I'll do a tier list on it all. Let me know what you think. If there's a better way to fight a hammerhead in the Sentinel, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. And thank you for watching. Let me know if you guys like just the commentary where it ends, kind of when I run out of stuff to say, or if you want me to do kind of more of a rambly video trying to talk over the whole thing. Let me know what you guys like best in the comments, and I'll probably do that from now on. Thanks for watching.